TG Geeks, episode 60, February 22nd, 2016. How many walls can we break on this show? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. And I am Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, I have no desire to actually try to figure out right off the top of my head what 4 cubed would be in terms of a wall, Phoenix, Arizona. Did you follow all of that?
No,
I think I lost
didn't.
myself.
I think you lost yourself. We got some interesting news and commentary this week, so we're going to get right to it.
Well, starting off, this story came out a little over a week ago, and apparently we're getting a little bit more reboot rage. There's going to be another attempt at 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Why?
That is a really great question, only this time it's not done by Disney. This is going to be done by 20th Century Fox.
Why?
That I would really like to know. I can't help but wonder if they think maybe enough time has passed that it's worthy.
Oh, hell, it's only been 60 years, so...
Yeah. Now, remind me, how successful was this as a film? Because this is one of the earlier films that Walt did live in terms of fictional.
I thought it was fairly popular.
I did too. I remember there was a bit of a nice buzz when it came out on home video.
Yeah, I mean, it featured a lot of some names, and as well as
James Mason, Kirk Douglas, just to name a few. There's a couple of others whose names I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Who was the creature person on that? Wasn't that? Did they go to Imagineering for that, or was
for the giant squid?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I can't remember.
Good question. I can't remember. It's been a while since we've seen the documentary.
Should have looked at that.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've seen the documentary on that. Well, in any case, 20th Century is looking at doing it. And apparently, well, they've contacted Bryan Singer of X-Men fame to do it. And he actually had a quote, fresh from his success doing Days of Future Past. He said, "I'm incredibly excited to be working with my friends at Fox, with whom I've had such a long and fruitful relationship. Ever since I was a boy and first discovered the 1870 Jules Verne novel, I've dreamt of retelling this classic story. Without revealing too much, it contains not only the original characters of Captain Nemo, Ned Land, and Professor Aronnax, but also some new and original characters and sci-fi plot twists culminating in a timeless adventure for all ages." That last part has me terrified.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't help it because I am immediately thinking, and here's a nice little flashback for you. Remember when Sci-Fi decided to redo the Andromeda Strain?
Oh, Lord. Remember
what a catastrophe that was?
Yes.
So I'm terrified when I see how Bryan, has historically done some pretty good stuff. I'm not going to take anything away from him. I think what he's done with X-Men has been very positive. But when he says that he's going, there's going to be some new and original characters and sci-fi plot twists, I just can't help but get very, very scared. So I kind of wonder how much of the source material is he actually going to borrow from?
Yeah.
Because the book is not filmable.
Well, true.
And I read the book back when I was in junior high. That book is not filmable because it's like reading a diary. Yeah. Almost. It's got no real adventure to it, so naturally when it was adapted for the big screen, they had to really insert a plot for it.
Right.
Which I thought worked rather well, and I love the movie, but I can't help but think that this could be ugly. I mean, visually, it could be phenomenal.
Yeah, it could be today. But
if you don't have a really good story,
yeah, and why would you mess with something that's a classic to begin with? I mean, why?
well, I think you just kind of hit on something. Why would you mess on something that's a classic? Well, okay, do we want to count the classics that have been messed with?
No,
not really. So, moving right
more
along.
power to you.
Yeah,
I
more
guess.
power to you.
Hopefully, you make a good film.
I will be very cautiously pessimistic.
Cautiously pessimistic. Okay.
And moving right on.
Moving right along.
Apparently, Blade Runner 2 is not only been given the green light, but there is a story that says it has a release date now.
Wow.
And
that's incredible.
We are looking at a little under 2 years from now.
That's amazing. Truly.
January 12th, 2018, Blade Runner 2, which is obviously the tentative title right now.
Right.
Heaven only knows what title they'll
Who
actually
knows what
give
they'll
it.
call it?
What's going to be different about this?
Knife Skipper.
I got nothing. Huh. Man, if I put my ear to the ground, I think I can hear Philip K. Dick's just body spinning madly in his grave. Although heaven only knows what he would have thought of Blade Runner taken from his short
True.
story. I would have liked to have thought that he would have enjoyed it. It's hard to say. What concerns me is Blade Runner is such an iconic film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's depressing as all hell. I mean, I can only watch it like once every 3 or 4 years because it is so dark and so bleak. But let's be real. That is, despite the fact that it's so dystopic, it is a work of art.
It is. It really is. And what do you do? Where do you go with it? That's the next question is, where do you go with it? Because it ends on a, I won't say cliffhanger, but it does.
In a sense.
But it leaves you wondering. And, obviously there's been commentary for the last 30 years on what does the end mean?
Yeah. And of course the big controversy was Deckard a replicant or not?
Exactly.
And fans, I mean, it's one of the most divisive story points out there. Harrison Ford says absolutely. Now I got to remember this. Harrison Ford has one point of view. Ridley Scott has another.
And Ridley Scott hasn't he changed his mind or
I think
given
Ridley
hints
did.
given hints that he's changed his mind over the years?
I believe Ridley did change his mind, and that's why I can't quite remember. I had to do some research on this to remind myself as to where he stands on this. I know that at one point he either thought that Deckard wasn't a replicant and now is, or vice versa. I'm not sure. But whichever point that Ridley currently has, Harrison has the opposite point.
And they could have been doing that over the years too.
It's very
You never
possible.
know.
Knowing Harrison, I mean, he could have been doing that. Yeah, it's very possible. What concerns me is the fact that Ridley is not directing this film.
Exactly.
I'm a little worried about that. Now,
who knows? Because it was such a treat. I mean, it was incredible.
It's not just the visuals, compliments of Douglas Trumbull, who I think crafted some of his best work ever. I mean, that really, it's like a painting.
It is
to watch it. But given Ridley's direction,
right,
of the film, that put together is what makes this such a compelling movie. And right now, it is going to be directed by, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Denis Villeneuve, who did Sicario and Prisoners. Sicario, I want to check that one out. Sicario?
I think that's what it is.
It might be. Benicio del Toro is in that film, I believe. So I'm a little curious because I like him. He's an interesting actor. But I don't know anything of Dennis's work. So I have no idea how to prepare myself for what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie has a look to it.
Yeah, and if you don't at least pay homage to that look or continue that look, then I think it ceases to be a second film.
Right.
It becomes a film of its own.
Now, the only
and granted, maybe it should be a film of its own, but if you're going to call it a sequel, then let's have the same sort of look.
it needs to have something.
Although
to,
it does take, it's
it
supposed
takes
to take
place off-world.
And 10 years
10 years
later. Right.
And I
so,
believe it is off-world. I'm not sure. Is it 10 years later? I'm looking at the article right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought it said.
It does take place. As I'm looking at it right now, it's kind of hard to see. I'm really scanning it right at the moment. But it does take place a number of years after. The film will take place several decades after the ending of the 1982
film. It's
film.
possible that they could potentially have a different look.
Well,
but
if
it's
I'm
still a dystopian future. Even at 30 years later.
If I'm not mistaken, now in one of the edits of the film, I believe this was the initial American theatrical release. So anybody out there, if we got this wrong, please correct us. But if I'm not mistaken, when the film was initially released in the U.S. on its big run, there was an ending that shows both Deckard and Rachel going off-world.
I think there is something to that. Yeah.
I believe they were going to go off-world because that was the only place that was safe for at least Rachel, who was a confirmed replicant.
Right.
And everybody who had money was going off-world because that's where the nice living was.
Right.
So the film takes place off-world, then it's very possible that it could have an entirely different tone, and maybe that's where the film's real star, Ryan Gosling, comes into the picture.
Well, that's true.
Because maybe now he's on the hunt for both Rachel and Deckard, although there has been absolutely nothing said about Rachel coming back.
Yeah. It's good. Who knows?
Sean Young, I believe, is the one who played Rachel.
Right.
Yeah, no word of her coming back. The only characters that have been confirmed, to my knowledge, are Ryan Gosling, and this will be his first science fiction film ever, so it'll be interesting to see how he takes it. And, of course, Harrison, who's been on board all this time. And the other thing that is a positive selling point is that the first film was co-written by Hampton, Fancher, and Ridley. Hampton is co-writing the sequel with another writer named Michael Green.
Yeah.
So, and the sequel is based on a story that Hampton and Ridley conceived some time ago. So there will be hopefully some thematic connection from the original Blade Runner into the sequel. It will be hard to say because, again, if it does take place off-world, then it does give them the opportunity to completely reimagine, I don't want to say reimagine, but give the movie a completely unique tone. But at the same time, what makes Blade Runner such a beautiful film is the tone of that movie, of the Earth that it lives on.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
It could be interesting. Now on that one, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of fans are kind of excited about it. I kind of wonder if maybe that's a movie that shouldn't get a sequel. Maybe it should just be left alone.
Yeah, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Now, lastly, yes, we finally saw it last night, people. Or as of the day we were recording this, we finally saw it last night, which would have been Saturday night. We saw Deadpool.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Yep. Oh, my.
Nothing could have prepared me for that. I will say I've got a review for this on our website. You can read our review. The link for the review will be in our show notes. So all you got to do is check that out if you really want to go in depth as to what we thought about it. But just for conversation point, what did you think about Deadpool?
I liked it. It was very irreverent, and it was to the point of that's hard to say. It was irreverent. It broke all of the rules, shall we say? All of the rules. I mean, every rule. As I said as we walked out of the theater, I'm surprised it didn't get an X rating just for some of the nudity.
Oh,
you know,
man. And some of the brief
language.
The language, but there were some clips. There's one clip that just had you and I laughing hysterically, where they do a flashback and then they do a flash forward, but they go a little bit too forward.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, whoa, not supposed to see that.
I mean, it was just, wow.
The movie, it just now, the word came to mind as to what this was. This was a farce.
Yeah. It was a farce of a farce.
It was. I mean, it
I mean, if you really kind of look at it and think of what they were going for with the film and all of the stuff that they threw in there, breaking the fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall within a fourth wall.
That's like breaking 16 walls.
Silly things like that. But it was a farce of a farce.
And the fact that they would give, at one moment, a very serious nod to something in the Marvel franchise, in most cases something that was in the X-Men franchise,
right?
And then just blasted to smithereens.
Yep.
In the next moment.
Exactly.
It was just the most outrageous film I'd ever seen. So, given that Ryan Reynolds has unfortunately been in a number of dogs, and it's not the guy's fault. I mean, one movie we recently saw was R.I.P.D.
Right.
Not a bad movie. It just didn't do all that great.
Right.
So he's had the misfortune of picking projects that didn't do so well. But the guy's a good actor.
Yeah, reasonably.
I think he's a reasonably good actor. I think he's got the ability to be a leading man. So what did you take away in this performance?
I thought he was... Just from what you have and other people have said about Deadpool, I know nothing about Deadpool, but just based on what everybody has said about Deadpool, that he's just a wisecracker. I thought he did an incredible job at fitting that character. It was great.
Was there anybody else in that movie that really stood out for you?
I'm trying to think right now. Kind of brain dead at the moment.
There's one that really stands out for me, and she had one of the smallest parts.
Oh, yes.
Blind Al.
Leslie Uggams. Oh, my Lord.
Leslie Uggams.
I thought, who is that? I kept thinking, who is that? At first I thought, oh, no, that's not, oh, gosh.
You weren't thinking Nichelle Nichols, were you?
I was.
I did too for a second.
For the very first second,
just
I thought,
a moment.
I thought, that's not, no.
But then she spoke and went, no, that's not her.
No, that's not Nichelle. And then.
But then I had no clue.
Thought, who the heck is that?
I had no clue because the opening credits are a scream in of itself. I mean, right from the moment the movie starts.
Yes.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, and then when the credit finally flashed up, we both said, Leslie Uggams.
Yeah. It was quite surprising, and I don't know if this is an attempt to jumpstart or give her career another boost.
Who knows?
She's probably retired by now, probably happy to live on the retirement.
Could be one of those things that, somebody had a friend of a friend, or you would be perfect for this, or, who knows?
Okay, I'll do this as a favor, but I'm telling you, she, just when you think
she steals every scene that she's in.
She does steal every scene, and that's another brilliant stroke in this film, because the one character who you think is going to steal the movie, and that's Weasel, the bartender.
Yep.
You think he's going to steal the movie because he's got some of just the most bizarre lines in the flick. And then all of a sudden, in comes Blind Al, and all bets are off once more. I mean, that's just so amazing about this movie. It's the irreverence to it.
Yeah, it was really great.
And as was said in our review, the only way you could make a movie about Deadpool is to have the movie be as irreverent as the character himself.
Absolutely.
I thought
it
was a ton of fun. This isn't a movie that I would necessarily run out to see in the theater again, but I certainly wouldn't mind owning it on video when it comes out, which will only be in a few months, people.
Yeah, so, okay. That was Deadpool.
That was Deadpool.
Hi, this is Jonathan Latt, author of the pulp novel The Geek, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
And everybody knows that that is our birthday music. And here are a few selected birthdays for February 15th through February the 28th. Yes, we're trying to catch up for the birthdays that we missed while we took a week off. February 15th, Harvey Korman. Cesar Romero.
Yes. Probably, man, is he the iconic Joker or not? Hard to say.
That's hard to say. Yeah, Cesar Romero, and he did a lot of other things, but he was a great Joker as well. Galileo Galilei in 1564 on February 15th. February 16th, Christopher Eccleston and Vera Ellen.
The dancer?
The dancer.
I keep thinking back to in White Christmas.
Oh, my Lord.
And she's got a waist that is as big around as my leg.
Yeah, unfortunately, she suffered from bulimia and anorexia.
Oh, my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It affected her life later on.
Oh, how tragic.
Yeah. Also, February 16th, LeVar Burton.
He is a hero because the way he encourages kids to read, and we're going to talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that later, yes. February 17th, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
The man is a chameleon.
He is. My God, he could do anything.
I think he is probably one of the most underrated actors today, and if anybody doubts me, watch Looper.
Yep. It's a great film. Also, February 17th, Michael Bay.
Oh, who loves to blow things up.
Yes, Jerry O'Connell and Lou Diamond Phillips, as well as James Earl Jones and Montgomery Ward.
Montgomery Ward?
Yes, there was actually somebody named Montgomery Ward.
I did not know that.
1884, yes.
So he did he have like a little cart that he
probably.
Probably what he did, yeah.
Probably. I mean, it's kind of like the company I work for. I work for McKesson. John McKesson started out as a snake oil salesman. And finally settled down in
became
Chicago.
Legit.
Yeah, in Chicago as a druggist or a chemist, if you will. So that Montgomery Ward, yes, is a real person.
I had no idea.
Yep. February 18th, Dennis DeYoung.
Formerly of Styx. I would love to see him rejoin the band someday.
And the director, John Hughes. February 19th, Jeff Daniels. David Mazouz.
A young Bruce Wayne.
Yes, our young Master Bruce. And Benicio del Toro, you were just talking about.
Just talking about it. Wow,
Yeah.
What a coincidence. I honestly did not know that his birthday was on the 19th.
Yeah. Also on February 19th, Nicholas Copernicus.
Oh, that's a
1473.
second important astronomer.
Exactly. February 20th, Ansel Adams, my hero.
Oh, without question.
I love his photography. Just love his photography. Among others, but it's amazing to see some of his stuff.
His really stands out.
That's who I long to imitate. Also, February 20th, Robert Altman.
Phenomenal filmmaker.
Yes. February 21st, Alan Rickman.
The late Alan Rickman. I'm still upset about that.
I know. Also, William Peterson of CSI and Anthony Daniels.
Oh, C-3PO.
Yes. And Irma Bombeck.
No kidding.
Yes.
She lives up not too far from here.
Lived? Yes.
Did she pass away?
Oh, yeah. A number of years ago.
I didn't know that.
About 6 years ago.
I didn't know.
Yes. Also on February 21st, David Geffen and Andres Segovia.
Brilliant classical guitarist in his day.
Yes. February 22nd is Jerry Ryan. James Hong.
Lopan,
yes.
And not Lindsay Lopan.
And not Lindsay Lopan. No. Not Lopan. This is Lopan style. Also, February 22nd, Frederick Francois Chopin.
Chopin style.
Yes, as well as George Washington.
I got nothing on that one.
February 23rd, the birthday site that I was looking at says George Frederick Handel, but it is more like Georg Friedrich Handel.
Oh.
He was definitely German.
Yes, he was.
He lived in England. Funny story about that, but we'll save that for another time. February 24th, Abe Vigoda.
The late Abe Vigoda, because he just recently passed away. For the third time.
For the third time, exactly. February 24th, Edward James Olmos. Speaking of
Blade Runner.
Exactly. I was almost going to say, do you think that they should get Edward James Olmos as craggy and rough as he is now?
It is 30 years later.
Yeah, and it is 30 years later.
I think it could work.
It could be interesting.
I think he should do it.
Yeah. February 24th, he could be the mentor if
yes,
Ryan Gosling
Ryan
is
Gosling's character. Yes,
if he's supposed to be the one that's going after the replicants, he could be the mentor.
If Ryan Gosling is the new Blade Runner,
yeah, that would be great.
Okay, you listen to that.
Did you hear that, Ridley?
Yeah, hear that, Ridley, or whoever is in charge of this movie now.
Exactly. Do it. Exactly. Also, February 24th, the late Steve Jobs and Enrico Caruso.
Lots of classical artists.
Yes, absolutely. There's a few more. February 25th, George Harrison, the late
I
George
would
Harrison.
hardly qualify him as one of the classical artists, but
he is definitely.
Oh man, my favorite.
That is
Beatle.
a classic. Yes,
he was my favorite Beatle.
Also, Ric Flair,
professional wrestler.
Yes, Sean Astin.
Oh,
and
how about that?
Yeah, James Phelps. And how about that? His twin brother Oliver Phelps is also
that
on the
is
25th.
Just like the most amazing coincidence.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. How did that ever happen?
I don't have any idea. February 25th, also Jim Backus. He was
Mr. Magoo.
Mr. Magoo. He was also
he was on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, Mr. Howell.
Mr. Howell, yes.
As well as a number of other things. I mean, he lent his voice to a lot.
It was always the same voice, though.
Well, he played himself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, February 25th, Pierre Renoir.
Oh.
The artist, yes. February 26th, Jackie Gleason, Levi Strauss, and Victor Hugo.
Oh, Les Miserables.
Yes.
Among other things.
Yes, among other things. February 27th, Elizabeth Taylor, John Steinbeck, Joanne Woodward, Mirella Freni.
How about that? Another one.
Marian Anderson. Marian Anderson was one of the first black opera singers to make it big in opera.
Huh.
Yeah, she was fabulous voice, and in her later years, it just got deeper and deeper and deeper, and she was like this control tower.
Well, that happens to most singers, I think. Yes. They kind of lose that upper tessitura area. You know?
Yes, and last but not least, February 28th, Gilbert Gottfried, the architect Frank Gehry, and I put Bernadette Peters on here just because so I could tell this story.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
I kept hearing on the Met Opera radio, and she would say, "This is Roberta Peters."
Oh,
and,
no.
And I thought, I didn't know Bernadette Peters.
Did opera?
It was like this weird thing. And then I finally said, oh my God, it's not Bernadette Peters, it's Roberta Peters.
Oops.
Also, February 28th, Vincent Minnelli, father of Liza Minnelli.
Father of Liza.
Lorna Luft, too. I believe.
Oh, was he the father of Lorna?
I think he was the father of Lorna as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, anyway.
I thought they were half sisters, Lorna and Liza.
Maybe, who knows? I mean, Judy was married to so many different men. So.
I know.
Anyway.
All of them were gay.
Well, just almost. And that is it for our birthdays this week.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama, and occasionally we stop by. And if we don't stop by, sometimes we listen in on the feed, the live feed. They have a live feed for that on Sunday night, and sometimes we
chime in with our comments.
Yes, even remotely.
Yes.
So go give a listen at chuckchat.com. And yes, that is the listener feedback music.
And we've got a lot of feedback, but there's a reason.
Yeah, I was off for a week.
Yes,
I
so
had to leave leave town in a family crisis.
But all is good.
All is good.
All is good, so nothing to worry about. But yes, the feedback did accumulate. So starting back with episode 57, we got a response from good friend Crazy Joe, who has this to say. I'm still upset that Pee-wee's Big Holiday is debuting direct to Netflix. For years, Paul Rubens has been promising us a new Pee-wee movie. And now, after all those years of waiting, it's straight to Netflix. I want to see this on the big screen. Direct to Netflix is the direct to video of the current decade. I didn't wait years to see a direct to video movie. Frowny face.
Many frowny faces.
Many frowny faces, yes. And then, now Joe apparently has been doing some catch up. So he then listened to episode 58, where I guess we kind of thought the little comment that Joe was not a fan of Agent Carter.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard him say, well, maybe I did hear him say that he didn't dislike it, but it wasn't his favorite. So I just may have twisted that. I apologize, Joe.
Yes, because he responded with, I never said that I dislike Agent Carter. We watch it every week. It just holds the distinction of being the show I like the least of all the shows that I like. Okay, I think I need a flow chart for that one. So I like it. I just far, far prefer Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, the newly revived X-Files, The Muppets, Heroes Are Born, etc. But I do prefer Agent Carter to recent seasons of Doctor Who, so there is that at least. But that's unfair because Agent Carter is good, just less good than the other shows. New Who is awful. I only watch out of brand loyalty.
Yeah, me too sometimes.
Yeah, we sort of get that. Then we got another epic response from the twins.
The twins.
We love Lookie.
Yes, and I sent a little tweet. I didn't see a response from them. It was probably late in the day, and then it was looks like they took a break for a couple of days, but I can't remember what it was. I'll have to look that up here in just a minute. As soon as you do that.
Well, in any case, this is also episode 58, and they like to pick out certain moments during the show that they comment on. And right at the 54-second mark is when we're doing our co-host intros. And the twins say, can't help but picture Keith sitting on a deck in the Arizona United States sun, pouring out cool glasses of lemonade for the channel/podcast visitors. Ben, meanwhile, sounds like he's reporting in while dangling from a helicopter somewhere over Phoenix, Arizona, United States.
Well,
do.
Of course. Yes, it would be me pouring the lemonade.
Well, that part they've got dead on.
Exactly.
I would
am
never,
the cook.
I would never imagine myself to be, like the action reporter hanging from a helicopter. That never dawned on me, but okay, I'll take that.
Yes, I found my little tweet. I said, Sasha and Dagmar, the twins, in parentheses. Witty wonders, weaving witticisms with wile and wisdom.
Oh, my God.
So there you go, Lookie.
What the what?
So.
And then they followed up with, at the 1 minute 46 second mark, we had said that we were anime newbies because that was the episode where we were interviewing Kevin McKeever. And they came back with... At Bob Samurai's channel might be useful and fun to browse if interested in checking out anime titles. The channel host covers anime exclusively. Happy just to mention you to each other next time we're at Lookie Show on. Next time the show is on. And then at the 1 hour, 2 minute, 26 second mark, we said, one of us said, I love glamour, the really romantic glamour and luster that we see in 1940s films. And they responded with some lovely camera work in 1940s films using basically just light and shadow, now almost a lost art. And, and they're right.
It certainly is.
They're absolutely right about that.
Yep. They're just, and then even more so, and I happen to be a black and white fanatic, so not necessarily of moving film, but there was a lot that you could do with moving film, but just still film. Black and white is my favorite genre.
And I keep looking back to there was and then the title of it just went out of my head.
Obviously, my Ansel Adams reference.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Now Orson Welles did a film, and it's gone out of my head now. The famous thing, Rosebud the sled.
Oh,
Citizen
Kane. Yes,
Citizen Kane. Now that's a movie.
I hated that film.
I despise watching it.
Photography was incredible.
That is what's amazing. The direction of the movie, the story, and the acting are hideously bad. And for anybody who thinks that they're great, I'm sorry. I think they're dreadful. But the direction, the art direction, and the cinematography, especially the use of light and shadow in Citizen Kane, it is really
Absolutely.
something to behold.
Yep.
And you can be really amazed by the wonderful things that can be done with light and shadow that you can't do with color.
Yeah, and of course, Citizen Kane was 1941. So.
Right. And you can't colorize those films now. I mean, I think it was Ted Turner was on this big colorization kick.
Oh my!
And tried to
Ruined a
and
few films.
colorize Citizen. Well, I know that they colorized. Oh man, Humphrey Bogart movie set in World War II.
Which one?
It was set in World War II. Dadgummit, name's out of my head. All of a sudden, I can't remember. It's just gone. But I know that he colored that one. Of course, there was the attempt to color Citizen Kane, and the critics just trounced him. And luckily, that was a fad that did not last very long.
Yeah, because they look colorized.
Yeah,
It's a bad thing.
yeah. That just made it really ugly. Well, anyway, moving right along, and then we get to episode 59. Now, earlier in a previous show, Crazy Joe had commented that he liked the idea of X-Men staying over at Fox. Well, Brian Arkle Weber decided that he needed to give in his 2 cents, and he says this: I'm actually going to agree with Joe about the X-Men staying over at Fox. Besides, we already have an X-Men analog in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now with the Inhumans.
Yeah.
That said, I wish that the comic side of Marvel would stop trying to undermine the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the comics. It's just so effing petty. Before I go on that, I feel the need to address this. Okay, yeah, Fox has done a great job with X-Men. I don't agree with the analogy. That's just me, because I don't think they're doing enough with the Inhumans. I mean, we're only scratching the surface right now in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this moment. The Inhumans do not have their own film franchise yet. That's not going to be until, if not the end of Phase 3, it will be Phase 4. So we got quite a ways to wait before we actually get to explore the Inhumans as far as them being a mutant analogy. So I'm a little bummed by that. As far as Marvel trying to undermine X-Men and Fantastic Four, I think they've only done that with X-Men. I think they're keeping that going. I know they've killed the Fantastic Four comic book, but I think they've got a really good reason to, and that's because 20th Century Fox has continued to butcher that franchise.
Yeah.
Especially after the last film, Fantastic Foe, as I like to call it. So in that respect, I think Marvel had every reason to completely kill the comic. But as far as I know, they haven't done anything to undermine X-Men because Fox has done a great job with that. Still, I would like to see it all under one umbrella. That's just me, because I really want to see the X-Men interact with the Avengers. There I am. I've said it. Okay. Anyway, moving along with Arkle's feedback, he also added, since the subject of crowd-funded genre movies from Indiegogo came up, with a DVD release fast approaching, perhaps you could give Atop the Fourth Wall, the movie, a try. It was one of my favorite genre movies from last year. My top 5 in alphabetical order were Ant-Man, Atop the Fourth Wall, the movie, Farewell, Famicom Rider, Mad Max, Fury Road, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. It's cheap, but it's lots of fun. You can see the whole thing at atopthefourthwall.com/atop-the-fourth-wall-the-movie. We'll have that link on the show notes, people. But okay, I will give that a try. I mean, everything, you call it a genre film, I will give it, we'll test it out. Keith and I are very much interested into independent films.
Yeah.
So we will definitely take a look at that. And then he lastly added, full disclosure, I'm a longtime fan of the writer/co-director/star of the film, Louis Lovehaug. Pronounced Lovehaug. No, really. That's what he says. And I was also a donor to the film. You can see my name in the closing credits and everything. In addition to being friendly with the other co-director Jessica Kittrick. Very nice. Okay, Brian, we will definitely check it out. Now, Also, in regards to episode 59, more specifically, our interview with Jonathan Latt, we got a response from Patricia Chica, our friend Patricia, who has been serving as the publicist for the book The Geek. And she writes, "Hi, Keith and Ben. This is such a delightful, geeky, and nerdy talk. I really enjoyed listening to it this morning with a cup of tea. You guys are so much fun. Thanks so much for the kind shout out to you. Made the start of the week very cheerful. Congrats to another epic podcast. This is Jonathan's first official interview, and I'm glad it was with you both." Well, so are we.
Yeah.
We are honored that we got to be Jonathan's first official interview.
Absolutely.
It was a very entertaining episode and discovered a lot about you and Jonathan.
Oh, dear.
All those geeky references from childhood were awesome. I didn't even know some of the shows you mentioned and got me intrigued to look them up.
Cool.
Hey, we're happy to share the love.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We love you, Patricia.
We love you, Patricia. And for what it was worth, it
was great.
That was one of the most fun interviews we've had in ages.
Yep.
And then we got a response from Jonathan Latt himself, where he said, "Just listened to the podcast. Thanks again. I had a great time and really appreciate the support. We were really in the nerd zone."
Yes, we were.
But that's when I think the conversations are at their most fun.
Absolutely.
Like it was when we, whenever we have Jeannie Koch in the studio and we get to chat with her and we get to go nerdy, or when we were talking to Robert Palmer and Michael Weiss at a Phoenix Fan Fest.
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of nerd zone conversations can be just a blast because
just a lot of fun.
It's just such an organic conversation.
Yep. And that's what we like.
That's what we like. And we also got feedback from Scott Linder, friend of the show, about the interview. And he says, "Wow, guys, what a great episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the interview with Jonathan Latt. It was wonderful listening to you guys relate to his growing up geek, as did I. And I can't wait to get hold of his book. Keep up the fantastic work, guys." Now, that thrilled me.
Yeah. Go to our website, and there is a link to The Geek.
There is a link to The Geek on our website, absolutely. And Jonathan had a response to that, and he said, "Thanks, Scott. As you can tell from the interview, the three of us were really definitely in the nerd zone. So much fun. I really hope you enjoy the novel and can't thank you enough for your support." And then good friend Tom Alred Gulbranson he wanted to share a little comic book story, because we did have a little discussion about comic books since they did figure into the book The Geek. And there is a little bit of a relation. He said, "Speaking of comic books, I had over, 2,800 issues collected over some years. Loved all of them. Green Lantern and The Flash, Mad Magazine, etc. Then some kids," this is going to make you cry, "then some kids broke into where I had stored them and stole/destroyed most."
Oh, no.
Here's where it becomes tragic. "I had Batman and Superman issue 1.
Oh, no.
Plus several other issues. Didn't know comics would be worth tons of cash at the time. I stopped collecting, sold what was left, and got scammed over what was left of valuable comics.
Oh, dear.
I walked into this guy's store, and there I see a couple of my first issues hanging in frames with crazy money price tags."
Oh, my.
Tom, I read that, I wanted to cry.
That's sad.
Because you've admitted, you're not into comic books, you're collecting. That's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, but I can appreciate.
Yeah.
I
mean, those things do take on a great value. And I was a comic book collector big time, and I lost all of them when I moved to Phoenix. So I feel your pain. I really do. Yeah, really sad. And then we got another comment from Jonathan Latt, and this time he was responding to
your review.
I wrote a review for The Geek called it "Violence, Death, and Geeks. Oh my!" And that will be on our website. Well, it's on our website now, and we will again have that link in our show notes at tggeeks.com for this episode. And Jonathan wrote, "Thanks so much, Ben and Keith. I had a great time on the podcast and am overwhelmed with your review of the book. Talk soon."
Yes.
And then
we will.
We absolutely were going to talk soon. And then we got just a very simple comment from Patricia Chica, and she writes, "Validation
to the reviewer."
Well, thank you. And then lastly, we got a comment regarding the very item we discussed, 20,000 Leagues reboot. we got something from Mrs. Crazy Joe, Christine Fiora, and she simply writes, "It had better still include the song A Whale of a Tale." It is something of a little iconic moment. Yeah. So I think you're kind of onto something there. And then also in regards to the article, a release date for the sequel to Blade Runner. Somebody who follows us on Twitter, Isabel Jones at Word Sherbert, simply writes, "Oh my word, you guys just made my decade." Smiley face, smiley face.
Yay.
Well, happy we did. And that's our feedback.
That's our feedback for this time. We want to hear from you, our listeners. You are important to us. If you like the show or even dislike it, we want to know what's on your mind. You can comment on our Facebook page, TG Squared Studios, or as TG Geeks Webcast, where you can comment on episodes and articles that we publish. You can even comment on our YouTube episodes or at tggeeks.com on each individual article. And you could receive a shout out on a future episode. Now, when you do publish something in the comments, we do ask for a legitimate email. We won't know that it's legitimate, but if the comment needs editing, we certainly want to send an email to you and say so. And please be nice in your comments. Don't cast aspersions on anybody, or we might delete that comment. So just be nice.
Yes, we believe in playing nicely. I mean, you can disagree with something, either disagree with something we said or disagree with a comment that came from somebody we interviewed, and it can all be done very, very nicely, and we can all disagree or agree to disagree and be very above board about the whole thing.
Absolutely. No need to be mean. You can also call our listener feedback line, and we'll play your comment on air at 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357.
Hi, this is Pia Thrasher, filmmaker, actress, and artist, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Boy, we got some interesting things to discuss here.
just a
We've
few
got
things.
a bunch of press releases.
Yeah, a bunch. That's okay.
That's okay. We like
We
them.
don't mind. It
No, we
gives us
don't.
some content and also lets us share the love around.
Absolutely. Now, the first one came from good friend Patricia Chica, and she was writing about Women in Horror Month blood drive.
Now, there's just a week left, a week and a day left in the Women in Horror Month, but you can still give blood. There are some interesting little comments on if you go to that article, Women in Horror Blood Drive, it takes you to the YouTube page for Women in Horror, or actually, the YouTube page. They've got a bunch of actors that talk about the blood drive, and then there's a bunch of little horror shorts, and one of Patricia's shorts is in there as well. So
definitely look to see that.
Out. There's a number of different horror shorts.
It's definitely worth it, and it's all really for a good cause too. So we think this is very important. So absolutely, when you get a chance to check it out, please do. And as always, this will be in our show notes.
Yep.
And in relation to that, there was something called the United in Blood special event in London. I'm not sure when this was.
It's on the 22nd.
It's on the 22nd. So that's tomorrow. So if for anybody listening to this, well, by the time you hear this, if you're already in the UK, it may be too late.
Yeah, maybe.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
But in any case, there was a very special event that was going to be taking place in London, and this was tied into the United in Blood. And it was another special night presentation of scary movies made by women.
The 23rd.
Oh,
sorry.
23rd. Okay. So there's
I thought
a
it was
day.
the 22nd. Sorry.
There is one day, and the event is going to be at 259 or 260 Hardis Street in Loughborough Junction, London. The doors will open at 7 p.m. There is a screening and panel discussion which kicks off at 7:30 until midnight. The tickets are £7, and they are available at worldcinema.com.
That's
so
Whirled.
Oh, you're right. Whirled. My bad. Whirled. Yes. Whirled Cinema.
Yes.
And then
Quite a few shorts there.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of horror shorts, there's another one that we were alerted to, compliments of our good friend Patricia Chica. And if you're going to be at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, from March 11th to the 19th, there is going to be a short called Night of the Slasher. It was written and directed by Shant Hamassian. It's produced by Adam Lassar. And they're pitching this as a proof of concept in the hopes of turning this into a feature film. And in short, the movie is described as a shot-in-one-take film, those are always impressive, about a teenage girl who must commit horror movie sins in order to lure a masked killer so she can exact revenge.
Yeah.
I think it sounds really good.
Yeah.
And the press relations for the film and cast crew are being handled by Chicart Public Relations. And if you're curious about it, you can follow the daily updates on social media. On Twitter, they are @Tonight'sKiller. And on Facebook, they are facebook.com/NightOfTheSlasher. And we will have the link for the story as well as the trailer on the show notes for this episode. So if you're going to be in Austin, Texas around that time, go to South by Southwest to check it out. Now, on this next one, this I know this is one that you're very passionate, we're both passionate about, but based on some conversations that we've had lately, I know that you feel very strongly about this. How Phoenix Comic-Con is supporting the Kids Need to Read.
Yeah, the Kids Need to Read. And that one, that has been a charity that they have supported every year for the last several years. And I think it's really important because kids need to read. They need to learn to read. They need to be able to be exposed to literature and to art. And it opens the mind and it opens the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
makes them smarter.
It does make for some. It makes for some very smarter people. I mean, we were just talking about this over dinner a couple of nights ago. You know, you look at pop artists today, for example. I mean, we just. I'm not going to name names, but you know, someone just recently came out and kind of like did this big thing about how he didn't feel it was really important to read. You know, but then on the flip side, one of my favorite bands is Rush. And their lyricist, Neil Peart, is an avid reader. Avid. And it shows in his writing. And you're absolutely right how it can really just spur intelligent thought, critical thinking, and it also helps in communication skills.
Yes.
It can make children better writers. So I think it's something that is absolutely imperative that people check it out. Anyway, we have the link for Kids Need to Read. That will be on the show notes as well.
Yep.
And that'll give you a link to the Kids Need to Read charity.
Yep.
This is vital, and we are big supporters of this.
Yeah, and one of the things that Phoenix Comic-Con, I think they said first 100 Fast Pass tickets are the total amount is going to be donated to Kids Need to Read. I have to check that out, but it's in the article, and so check that out.
Absolutely.
One of the things that you skipped past was a new indie film from Pia Thrasher.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
I did skip past that. My bad.
Past that. We don't want to skip Pia.
No, I'm sorry. That was my mistake. Yes.
And it's called Things We Dig. It should be fascinating. She talked a little bit offline with us about it, and we won't share any spoilers, but just go to the article, and it's got the link to the Indiegogo site for Pia Thrasher's new film, Things We Dig.
And it also
please go support it. You can do it for as little as $5.
Absolutely, and the link for this in our show notes will also include a link for her first short, The Appointment. You can see that online for free.
It is fabulous.
And that'll give you a really good idea as to the quality of Pia's filmmaking.
Yeah. So
it's definitely worth it. So yes, absolutely.
We're looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Hopefully it's finished for Horrible Imaginings this year.
I would certainly hope so.
That would be great.
It would be great to see that actually premiered there. I would enjoy that a great deal. Great.
And last but not least, on our articles, we just started putting ads on tggeeks.com. And one of the reasons that we did is did our taxes this year, and unless you're trying to actually make money, you can't write off business expenses, which we weren't trying to make any money. So
no, not really.
All of the money that we spent on this,
but it's not tax deductible.
Is not tax deductible. So we thought, well, maybe we should try to bridge the gap there, and we put some ads for Amazon. It's minuscule, but if we have enough people click on the ads and actually buy something, we've put search ads in there. If you click on the search ad or you search for something and you go to Amazon through that link, we get a little credit for it. And it's, like I said, it's not much, but it helps defray the cost of the webcast and the equipment, etc.
Hosting. And
we just don't want to ask you, our loyal listeners, for any money at this point.
No, not necessarily. And don't worry about the ads, how they might interfere with what you're reading, because they're at the bottom.
Yeah, we try to keep them as unobtrusive as possible. We have some widgets on the side for a couple of Amazon ads, one for Jonathan Latt's book, The Geek, as well as Jeannie Koch's books, and so a couple of other things. So click on some of our links. Even if you just click on it, we get credit.
We get some credit for it.
Yeah.
And who knows? It might you might feel inspired to want to check something out.
Yeah.
As a result of reading the article anyway.
You never know.
So, and again, it comes in right at the very bottom of the article, so it doesn't interfere with what you're reading. So please don't let that turn you off. And it helps us out a little bit.
And if you have a comment about it, or you think they're obtrusive or something, please let us know. We're glad to hear. You can use the contact us page instead of putting it in the comments. So let us know if they're too much, or
you think we should do more.
Exactly. And just a few follow-up items. Once again, Phoenix Comic-Con, they sent us a couple of press releases about guests and whatnot like that. We've got those articles on our website. They've announced quite a few new guests.
Quite a few. Billy Piper's
Billy Piper,
the hot one now.
Yeah. So hotel rooms are still available, and memberships are on sale. As time gets closer to the con, the price of the memberships does go up.
I think I read somewhere that they've already gone full price.
But
I could be mistaken.
They went up, but
they did go up.
Yeah.
That is true.
So please keep checking PhoenixComicCon.com for updates.
And we want to give a shout out to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, Doctor Who Talking Who. They are on Twitter, and if you want to read the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, just follow them by going to @TalkingWho. And we also want to give a shout out to Brian Arkle Weber. I think I'm going to start calling you Arker now because I just want to. No offense, Brian. I love you. But anyway, he puts out something called the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. And if you wish to read that, just go to Twitter. You want to follow Social Justice Scald, and that is @Arkle. And he also has on Tumblr something called the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager Quotes. And as with all of the things, we will have these links on our show notes on our website.
And we want to give a shout out once again to The Lookie Show, the twins, Sasha and Dagmar. They are a hoot.
They are a hoot.
They are a hoot.
And they give us lots of love on Twitter.
Yes. At The Lookie Show, or @Lookie Show, forgive me. And catch the show on YouTube as The Lookie Show. And if you like old movies, this show is for you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we want to finally give a shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, because they allow us to post our episodes there. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek, with always special thanks and our undying gratitude to the moderator, Jeremiah Reeves, for giving us his blessings to post our shows there. And as I've said this before, and I will say it again, that is one of the more fun groups to be a part of on Facebook.
Yes, thank you, Jeremiah. Well, that's our next time sound. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen.
Because we don't know.
Because we don't know most of the time. So stay tuned for a show next week, episode 61. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links there on the page. That it just grows and grows.
Yes.
And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail. Yes.
Voicemail.
Voicemail.
But not a voice,
smile.
but not a voice meter. Or a voice smile, maybe a voice frown.
Yeah, there you go. At 469 TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.